industrial building. It was no disappointment. It was very interesting. The gentleman that gave me the tour owned the building since the 80s, and I think he bought it in 1988. And he's funny. He's interesting enough. He's got a background like me in woodworking and steel, fabrication, and very, very interesting. The building was great dimensionally. It actually does lend itself to be subdivided. But the cost of electricity is actually pretty reasonable in this area. And so we, like I say, we spent 2 hours getting to know each other, and the building checked off on a couple more great things. Great visibility. Not the best neighborhood. Not a high dollar neighborhood by any stretch. But it doesn't have to be. I'd have preferred possibly. I'd rather be in a little bit better neighborhood, right? But there's no problem with theft. He said he's never had a problem with theft. He said that the neighbors, they steal in different areas, not at home. So he's safe in that regard. But it did have a lot of the great stuff. The power requirements actually had a little more power than I expected. It had 1,800, I think it had 1,800 amps in one section, a little bit more in another section, so maybe 2,400 amps overall, which is a lot of power. It was 480, but it also had multiple transformers. Whenever you have 480 volts or 460 volts, I think it's 480, 460, it can vary some. Three-phase, it's a wonderful thing. It's very economical for power, but it requires transformers, and this thing was actually loaded with transformers that would, because you have to reduce the power down, right? So you got 480, you got to reduce it down to 223 phase if you want to have, if you want to run 223 phase machines, which I do. It's better for rental. And then, but it had multiple transformers. In fact, it had 8 transformers strategically located throughout the building that broke it down to 223 phase, as well as 120 both for small hand operated devices. It was all one level floor. That was good. It had 18 bays. Many of the bays had self-levelers. If you don't know what a self-leveler is, there's different kinds. There's hydraulic ones. These were spring-loaded ones. But what it is when you back up a truck to a dock, you can activate the spring so it lets this ramp come up, so that if the truck bed, like just imagine this is the ramp, right? You back up to it was just a regular, not a ramp, but if you pulled up to a regular loading dock, well, if on the loading dock there's kind of a tucked in, it's a spring-loaded form. These are spring-loaded, so you pop them up, and then when the truck comes up, you can get it back enough that it comes down and lays flat. Now that allows you to drive a forklift off the ramp into the back of a truck, or vice versa. And this had like 18 of these, so it was really, really a good thing. And some of the docks actually had double loading docks, so you could park multiple, trailers off of a big rig side by side. It actually had a spur that had been abandoned. Maybe tough to get that spur back, railroad spur for railroad drop off and haul away. But very, very interesting property. So what I got to do now is I got to study the area a little bit better and see where I fall with my numbers that I can make work. But as of right now, I think it's possible. I think it's possible to make something happen. Money's a little bit expensive right now. We're still floating in there at 7.5%, which is a lot. But I've got some thoughts, got some ideas about maybe how to make it work. But anybody got a question, ask a question, I'll take it. I got my son driving, so it's kind of nice. Nice when your kids grow up and you don't have to drive anymore. Let's see. Let me see. Somebody wrote something. Ironwood wrote. Let's see what you got here, bud. Fully leased, but it's fully leased, but he plans on leaving. So this allows for me to do some planning. And in this case, the way to make this work is, when somebody is there's multiple tenants in this thing, but the biggest tenant is actually is the owner of the property. And so when you have something like that, if you can work it out that if he's vacating the building over a period of time, that way you got a tenant, you got money coming in, and as he pulls out, you can start to replenish these smaller subsections of the building with a tenant, and then that way, and presumably get more rent per foot than the deal that's worked out with the owner. So as he retracts his space, gives it up, you start filling it up with a new tenant, and you can start advertising in advance. Like if you have an agreement, which is what I would have, agreement that a certain amount of space would be available by X date. That allows me to, I can put it on CoStar, LoopNet, or whatever. I can start to advertise the space, gauge the interest, and get somebody in that might take 10 or 20,000 square feet, get 25% of the building rented at a higher rate, and this property actually offers a couple of different tenancies of it could be warehouse, can be heavy duty construction, manufacturing. The zoning lends itself to do just about anything, which is a good thing. There is a little bit of commercial aspect on this thing, but not the greatest neighborhood for commercial, but definitely a good neighborhood for industrial. And so that's what I'm playing with. And actually, it's so nice to be where I'm at right now. I'm on a toll road, and the traffic is jam-packed on that side, but moving well this way. And that's one thing when you take a property further away, and this is a little bit, out of what you guys like to call your buy box. It's, as long as it's 80,000 square feet or 100,000, or maybe even more, or even a little bit less would be okay. There's economies of scale. You can get your day-to-day management or your leasing partners in place. Basically a pocket listing. This one's not on the open market, but it will be pretty soon. It's one that was on the market that got pulled off. Russ, I don't know. I'm working on it. We're talking, and it's a positive where it stands right now. There's, it's like I always tell you guys in class, and you know this already, you've been around, when you get a buyer and seller together, they want to make a deal, you know what I mean? And it's been my experience over the last 40 some odd years that when you have that kind of situation, this is one of the reasons I want to go specifically go out and meet this guy directly. There you go, 183 so. Virgil, I'm not going to tell you where exactly the property is because I'm on YouTube. But I'll tell you it's in Texas. That'll tell you that. Again, we got a little work to do. I'm going to go visit with one of my bankers too. And, I hadn't even caught up to see if there's any change in the rates at all since, the little quarter point drop. But we'll see. Like I say, sometimes, the terms make things possible that otherwise wouldn't. That other things would stop it from happening. That the terms can make it possible. So I'll be working on that next. And Virgil, Virgil. I thought you were joking when you asked. And you probably were. Maybe you were. I always tell everybody, keep it cryptic, right? Loose lips sink ships. But then again, I see a building that's burned out over here, and I actually know the guy that used to own it. It's funny enough, there's a building burned out over here. It's an old bar, and people suspect that the guy that owned it burned it down. And I actually knew that guy. His name was Gale. Real neat guy. Owned many, many, many bars. over a long period of time. And I actually, when I had a bar, I bought some equipment from him, and it was kind of interesting. But anyways, that's it. Just thought I'd share. And those of you that are in the class, you're going to see a nice video out of this. Very, very in-depth walkthrough, and you'll see what I saw exactly, because 100% of what I just walked through was videotaped, and I'll be sharing that with the class. So, hey, you want to learn how to make money in real estate? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You found the right place. I've been doing this for 45 years. Hundreds of thousands of square feet of property, and have the most successful, smartest, brightest community of students you'll see anywhere. And you can go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, and you can see some of these students, and you can see that you'd be among the best and brightest. And that's really where you want to be. You want to be around people that are as smart as you or smarter, and that's what you'll get here. And you'll raise your standards for what you expect to make on real estate, making money. And that's really where you want to be. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the smartest guy in the class. You want to be around people that are smarter than you, and that's what you'll get. So thanks for watching, and again, please hit that subscribe button. Any requests or questions, put them in the comments, and I'll try to address them later. Thanks for watching. I got to figure out how to close this. Here we go.